Hey, yo, what's up? Let's talk about it. This was done on AB's 2 weeks ago. Yep, AB 2 weeks ago. See, AB 2 weeks ago. Buzzinga. I ain't had a chance to look at this, so we gonna look at it. We gonna take a real good look at it. We gonna look right through it. Mm. Morning, afternoon, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Hi, how you doing? No, no, no. Negative. It was called a pop pipe. I have plenty of those. I like metal. I don't smoke out of glass. It's nasty. First of all, the Michael Crowe case is how I put this ever so lightly. Done and over with. Been for a very long time. Next. Who gives a shit? Hunter's never been married. See, it's that false information that people put out there that piss me off. See, Hunter's never been married. By never, like never been married. But yeah, like I'm saying, Hunter's never been married. Not once. Okay? He never once been married. So I don't know where they got that shit from. Oh, sorry, this shit. I don't know where they got that shit from. Where was I? I was doing my thing. This one right here. Where was I? I was doing my thing. That's where I was at. Okay, that's where I was at. I was doing my thing. Um, I had him for weekend visits from 6 months all the way up till Allison took off with him in 2025. I mean, not 2025. Jesus Christ. Until Allison took off with him when he was 7 years old. And given by New York state law, you cannot leave New York without the other parent's permission if they pay child support, have visitation, or any type of custody. And when Hunter was 7 years old, she did. That made that parental kidnapping. Look it up. Okay? Look it up. As for anything else, let's see. Child support now. I don't have to pay child support. Don't want to tell you about all that. Thanks, but no thanks. Ain't got to pay for it. So, what else do we got? Let's see. 2018, I took Allison to court for parental kidnapping. Yep, I did. I have the paperwork somewhere. Don't know where, but somewhere. Probably in the filing cabinet. Probably. I don't know. I'm not looking. Um, Hunter don't know shit other than what he stated. So, anything else? Maybe. What's the matter? You all right? Okay. Mental or physical? Hang on. All right. I gotta go help the old lady with something, but stick in there. It's gonna be a little bit. Quite a little bit. Out of the hood, Toyota. Go back to the hood, Lambo. Bing. Sorry, I'm here. Also, you're right about what you emailed me. What the other channel? Okay, cool. Sorry, I forget a lot, so don't mind me. So, where was I? Yes. I'm gonna go over here real quick and read here. Excuse me. See, this is bullshit. Uh, kind of hard to ask Hunter's old girlfriend anything, given Hunter has been with the same girl forever. So, good luck. God bless. Wish you the best. Ow. Ow.
Don't make fun of me. You fucking hurt me.
No, I didn't. I was sleeping. I didn't do shit. Apparently, okay, I'm no better than Don and Candace. Okay, whatever. I don't give a shit. Hunter doesn't know any more than what he's already said. More about blah blah. We already hear this shit. You also seem to forget one small factor, sweetheart. I still own the boy by New York State standards. And given that the petition was made out of New York State, I still legally own the boy. Allison was sick because she didn't take care of herself. That's why she passed away. There you go. Yeah, well, no need to now. The boy already spoke about it. See, I myself, let me put myself up here, okay? I myself know where the boy is. I myself know what he's doing on a daily. Me. I myself know what the boy wants done. So if you can't understand that by me saying leave him alone, he ain't talking to nobody. If you can't take that and be all right with it without running your mouth, there's a problem. Okay? Give me 1 second.
Where's your uncle? AirPod. Where's your uncle's AirPod? Where?
Give me a minute, y'all. I'll be right back. Give me 1 minute. We'll get more onto this. Give me 1 minute. Listen to some of this. AB, I'm using some of your shit, homie.
The Summer Wells disappearance, of course, in 2021. I'll try to talk a little bit louder. I sounded like I was mumbling and low talking in my last videos. I apologize for that, everybody. I'm getting used to this new mic. Now, yesterday, I was over in Andrew Hiltz's live chat, and I didn't know what he was reacting to. I'd assumed he watched a video and was reacting to it, but it wasn't until just a few minutes ago did I go and delve into and analyze the transcript from Josh over at the lab in his interview with Chris McDonough and somebody else. They were teasing and flirting. And to be honest with you, Andrew has a point. After I studied the transcript, I of course I analyzed it through Grok, and I got it to go and highlight any mention of Hunter in it. And let me read to you what it came back with. And I think I can understand what Andrew is so upset about. Now, I'm trying not to joke about it, because last night I was just in a trolley type mood, and I apologize to Andrew and his old lady, Alyssa, for, I guess, causing some confusion, because I had no idea about what they were talking about. I wasn't watching it at all. So I was just in there being a contrarian and asking him questions just to get him talking and explaining himself a little more. So I thought,
Come on!
well, that's a perfect opportunity to highlight for you people a little bit of entertainment because Andrew gets so hot right now. And,
I'm always heated.
you know,
Much love, AB, but I'm always heated. It was only something to throw on real quick because, you know, apparently. Oh my God. Ain't fucking do nothing without these damn animals. All right. Back to what I was talking about. All right. Cool beans. If you got something you want to say, homie, I say it. You got something you want to say, put it in chat. What up, Brain? Yeah, if you got something to say it in chat, homie. That's how Andrew looks at it. While we wait for that, we're going back to this shit. Everybody on this here has a right to an opinion, but a lot of their opinion is actually fucked up. Okay? Excuse me. You see, everybody's trying to say I'm making shit up about McDumbnuts. And I'm not. I'm really not. No, I never once clarified I said anything about driving a U-Haul truck. I said there's a difference. And it wasn't a U-Haul, it was a Penske. But thank you. Now, I'm going to share something with y'all fellow folks over here. Okay? That's what Andrew's going to do. Now, everybody's trying to say that I'm making shit up. All right. But when I put the truth out there, nobody wants to believe it. Okay, so we're going to watch a 4-minute clip and hope I don't get demonetized for it. Okay? You share this instead.
Officers from using threats or lies to get a minor to confess to a crime. It faced strong opposition, but now a high-profile conservative DA is urging law enforcement to stop lying to all suspects.
CBS 13 investigative reporter Julie Watts is taking a closer look at the concerns over false confessions.
Yeah, with advances in genetic genealogy and DNA crime fighting, hundreds of wrongful convictions have now been overturned.
Pause. I hit the wrong one. Let me go back. What one does Andrew want? Part 3 of 3? No. Nope. There it is. Let's get to the good part.
For a parent, it's a double nightmare. A child dead. Her brother, the prime suspect.
They made an arrest in the case. And I said, who is it? And they said, we've arrested your son.
Police interrogated Michael Crowe for 12 hours over 3 days without his parents and without a lawyer.
Once a police officer decides to do an interrogation, there's one goal only, and that is to get a confession.
But how far will police go to get that confession? And what are the rights of parents and children? 6:30 a.m. January 21st, 1998. In the San Diego suburb of Escondido, California, 12-year-old Stephanie Crowe is found stabbed to death in her own bedroom.
Stephanie was full of life. From the moment she woke up till she went to sleep, she was busy doing things, and she always gave 100%.
5 feet tall and brown-haired, Stephanie Crowe was a girl who loved the Spice Girls and the movie Titanic. In her spare time, she was a member of her church choir and worked as a volunteer at the Escondido Library. Now, she lies lifeless on the floor of her room, 10 feet from her bed. One of her books, a mystery novel, lies under her right foot. It's entitled The Twisted Window.
The victim was found by her grandmother after the grandmother was awakened by the alarm clock in the victim's bedroom.
When Judith Kennedy found her granddaughter lying on the bedroom floor, she yelled, awakening Stephanie's parents. Then, her dad called for help.
Hey, daughter! What's the problem? She's right on the floor. She's not breathing. There's blood all over the place. Please, oh my God, my daughter's dead.
Police and paramedics arrive. They strain to pull Cheryl Crowe away from her daughter's body. The body appears to have suffered several stab wounds. Police determine the little girl is dead. Her family's home is now a crime scene.
And they asked me who would want to hurt her, and I said, there's no one. I wouldn't know anyone. She's 12 years old.
Police find no evidence that an intruder entered the home, no broken locks, windows, or doors. There are several sliding trapdoors around the house. One of them opens into the parents' bedroom, and these doors, as usual, had been left unlocked. But police don't think an intruder could have entered this way, quietly and undetected, without clattering the vertical blinds behind the door.
They pretty much herded us into the living room. They got everyone and had us sitting on the couch. Wouldn't let us really, move or nothing.
While Escondido police secure the family's house, Stephanie's parents, siblings, and grandmother are all taken to police headquarters to be questioned.
You're not wrong. They're the same. They're the same thing. They're moving trucks, but just different company names. You are not wrong there.
I asked them not to separate the kids. I said that, to at least let them be with either Cheryl or Cheryl's mom, and they promised me that they would not separate the kids from us.
At first, detectives focus on Stephanie's father, Steve Crowe, a 35-year-old auto body painter. Is it possible that this devoted dad, nearly hysterical when he called 911, could have molested his daughter and then killed her to hide the fact? Authorities in Escondido declined to talk to us about the ongoing investigation, so we talked with Louis Scarcella, a former New York City homicide detective who once lived in Escondido.
911 callers have been convicted of murder many times. You don't want to rush in. You want to take a good look at the big picture, and certainly with regards to the mom and the dad.
Scarcella has investigated over 250 homicides, and the cases in which a child was found dead at home teach a lasting lesson.
I believe I had about 9 or 10 that fell in that category, and in every one of those murders, it was always a relative, possibly a brother, or a stepdad, someone.
Laura, I hope you're all right.
Each of us were separated in our own little rooms, and with nothing but just another policeman or cop sitting there staring at us the whole time. And we were there all day. They informed me that they were going to take pictures of us and take our clothes for evidence. And I wasn't too happy about that because they said that they were going to photograph us naked.
I take a good look at their bodies, their hands, their arms, their whole bodies, because individuals who inflict X amount of stab wounds cut themselves.
While the Crowe family is being questioned, police are also busy scouring the crime scene for clues. Pools of blood are visible at the foot of Stephanie's bed and near her door. Several hairs are found lodged in the ring on Stephanie's right hand. Investigators think these resemble those of the victim's 14-year-old brother, Michael. Police also find something more. The words "kill, kill" penciled on a windowsill. The medical examiner estimates the murder occurred sometime after 9:30 Tuesday night or early Wednesday morning. The autopsy also reveals Stephanie was stabbed 8 times.
We have not located a weapon at this time, and there's a pretty extensive search being conducted at the residence.
Back at the police station, Cheryl and Steve Crowe and their surviving children are in the midst of a 15-hour ordeal.
The cop came back in and said that they're taking the kids away from us, and they're going to put them in, they're taking them and put them in protective custody. Well, at that point, I had enough, and I threw a fit.
The kids were crying, and they were upset, and I just said, well, it's going to be okay. These are the good guys. They're here to help us, like we've taught them their whole lives. And I just hugged them and told them we'd get them as soon as we could, and then I had to leave.
They took Michael and his little sister Shannon away from the family at the time the murder was discovered and put them in the Palencia Center for Children, which is basically a receiving facility for abused children.
I know you do, Barry.
Here in Escondido, California, the specter of the JonBenet Ramsey murder 2 years before in Boulder, Colorado, still looms like an unwelcome visitor.
They kept saying to each one of us, it's not going to be another JonBenet Ramsey, it's not going to be another O.J. Simpson case.
They told us that day that we weren't under arrest and that we can leave at any time. So after they taken the kids away, I said, well, then let's go, because I'm through with this. This is ridiculous. So we walked downstairs to the police department, and the second we touched the glass doors, the exit, they were locked. But the second we did that, there was cops coming out of the woodwork with their guns drawn on us. And the one Detective Risley, standing there with his gun pointed at my chest, yelling at us, get back upstairs. And I'm thinking, what is this guy? He's nuts. So we complied with him and went back upstairs.
Escondido authorities deny this confrontation took place. By 10 p.m. Wednesday, the Crowes are finally allowed to leave the station.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, their children Shannon and Michael are being looked after at the county shelter.
Michael, first of all, here's this poor kid who's emotionally distraught because his sister was murdered. He doesn't even have the adults in his life to comfort him. Nobody endeavored to give him any therapy or anything.
And soon, detectives shift their attention from Stephanie's father.
So this time we're watching all of it.
In fact, since the first hours of the investigation, when detectives arrived at the murder scene, they had suspicions about the teenager. Michael seemed much less emotionally distraught than the rest of the family.
I want to zero in on that kid. I would look at that very carefully, because to me as an investigator, it would mean something, yes.
Police are troubled by Michael's claim that he woke up 4:30 that morning, went from his room to the kitchen, right past his sister's bedroom, but never saw her lying dead in the doorway. This 14-year-old now becomes the sole focus of their investigation and their prime suspect. He is brought back for further questioning.
I'm kind of thinking you know why I'm speaking to you, I guess.
But what started out as a murder mystery is about to become something else. A revealing look at the power that our justice system can bring to bear to get a confession, even from a 14-year-old.
Damn.
Most citizens would find it very scary to be taken into custody at all to a police station, even if totally innocent.
And imagine that, like Michael Crowe, you are 14 years old, being questioned about the stabbing death of your younger sister without your parents or a lawyer present.
Tell you what, Michael, you can't sit in that little chair over there.
Interrogation is a very unpleasant experience. It is deliberately designed to
This
be
is in
intense.
98.
It is deliberately designed to make you acutely aware of the power of the state and the power of the police officers.
Confession was for centuries considered the queen of proof.
And
After
court
all,
TV.
what seems like
Damn.
more probative evidence than what a person says with his or her own lips?
My main objective is to get them to say that I pulled the trigger, that I stabbed the individual numerous times, that I strangled this individual. Sometimes we don't get that, but we get enough to put them in the soup.
I'd like to tell you what your rights are. You have a right to remain silent. You understand that?
Even though suspects don't really have to answer questions, most do.
Now, over 80% of criminal suspects do waive their Miranda rights. We all subscribe to the notion that
Damn.
silence equals guilt, right? That if you're innocent, if you've got nothing to hide, then you're not going to remain silent.
If you can't afford an attorney, you won't be appointed for it free of charge.
All parents ask their children to fess up when they've done something wrong. If they don't confess, then it's a sign that they're really obstinate, recalcitrant, maybe bad people.
Do you have any idea who may have wanted to harm your sister? No. If you had anything to do with it, would you tell me? Yes.
Police are allowed to question a juvenile without a parent being present, as long as the child clearly understands his Miranda rights and has agreed to waive them. But if a child asks to see a parent, the police must comply with that request.
There would be no reason for your hair to be in Stephanie's room after she's found with it.
After 14 minutes of questioning Michael, Detective Clater leaves the room, and his suspect alone.
I want to take a good look and see what they're doing, to observe, let them collect their thoughts, take a good look at them. It helps sometimes. It helps.
7 minutes later, Detective Clater returns and seems a lot more impatient with Michael.
We're really trying to believe what you say. We want to believe what you say. Would you have any problems with taking a truth verification exam? None at all? Do you act like there's a question?
I don't give a fuck.
I told them the problem is done.
What's the problem, Mike?
I spent all day away from my family. I couldn't see them. I feel like I'm being treated like I killed my sister. I didn't. It feels horrible.
Detective Clater tells Michael he's not blaming anyone and wants to believe him. Again, he leaves. And once more returns minutes later, this time with Officer Chris McDonough.
And they can, of course, use the Mutt and Jeff good cop, bad cop routine. One cop leaves the interrogation room and the other says, "No, I'm with you on this. I don't think you're really guilty."
You know I'm a pretty good guy. You can obviously sense that. I mean, I'm not hitting you with a rubber hose, am I?
Detective McDonough, who has a son Michael's age, devotes the next half hour trying to bond with his 14-year-old murder suspect, posing more relaxed questions about school, friends, and computer games.
I'm here to verify what you're saying, okay? We're going to work through this together, okay? Okay. I can tell you, this instrument here, okay, is what they call a computer voice stress analyzer. Now, you'll appreciate this, being into computers.
This thing purports to tell the difference between the truth and a lie.
The computer voice stress analyzer is a lie detector device introduced in 1988. Its manufacturer, the National Institute for Truth Verification, claims it is almost foolproof, cheaper, and easier to use than a polygraph.
Its accuracy rate is phenomenal, okay? And that's what makes it such a great tool.
The device works on the theory that the voice emits inaudible vibrations called microtremors, which can be measured on a graph. Under stress, when a person lies, for example, their vocal muscles tighten and cause a decrease in the tremors. A truthful response tends to look like a Christmas tree. A deceitful response is more squared off. However, independent studies of the stress analyzer's accuracy do not inspire much confidence.
The result of these studies was that the reliability of the machine was less than a coin flip in determining deception.
Yet the device does give police one more way to approach or perhaps intimidate a suspect. When we showed Detective Garcia the interrogation tape, he was much more familiar with the strategy than he was with the machine.
I personally thought it was a ruse, using a tool to deceive the individual, which is beautiful as far as I'm concerned. I had no idea what this machine was.
Before giving the truth verification test, Detective McDonough actually works together with Michael to formulate the questions.
What are some things we want to learn here, do you think? If I know who did it, if I did it. Okay, well, let's do that then. Do you know who, let's say, took Stephanie's life? Okay, would that be a good, fair question? Yes. Okay, do you know who took? Do you know how she died? No.
Soon the test questions are agreed upon, and McDonough asks Michael to sign a form declaring he's about to take the test voluntarily.
So you don't realize what's happening. You've now been sucked into a process, and that process is going to roll forward for as long as you let it roll forward.
No. There was no clear-cut evidence of that. There's nothing more I could say about that. DHS found no clear evidence of any predatory nature, and she was just giving a kid cigarettes and alcohol. I mean, shit, at 15, adults would give me cigarettes and alcohol. I mean, fuck. Come on now. So, I'm just saying, I mean, if DHS didn't find enough evidence to give her a charge, then I guess it is what it is. So
Michael's interrogation continues. All the while, his parents assume he's being looked after at a children's shelter, unaware he is in police custody.
They just kept grilling and grilling and grilling. And to think that we were at home, not even knowing he was near the police station, we would have known, we would have been there.
Now, however, Michael seems almost relieved to be cooperating and submits readily to the voice stress analyzer.
Are you sitting down? Do you know who took Stephanie's life? Yeah. Is today Thursday? Yes. Did you take Stephanie's life? No.
8 minutes later, the truth exam is complete.
it's bullshit.
When we come back, what will the voice stress exam reveal? It is 4 p.m. Thursday, January 22nd, 1998, and 14-year-old Michael Crowe of Escondido, California, is in the midst of a 4-hour interrogation at police headquarters without an attorney or his parents present. His younger sister Stephanie was found murdered at home the day before, and investigators suspect Michael may be involved. He has just completed a voice stress exam. Now, Detective Chris McDonough returns with the results.
What did you think? What were your thoughts through the whole thing? I don't know. Nervous. Nervous? Okay, let's go over that. What were you nervous about? I don't know. It might be wrong. Okay, in what way? It might say I did kill Stephanie. Okay, and why would it say that? I don't know, because everyone's already treating me like that. And I can understand your feelings there, okay? I mean, you're 14 and you've been through a lot, okay? But this instrument doesn't know you, does it? Science is in our favor. Okay, technology's on our side. Okay? I mean, can you understand that?
You abuse!
Shows Michael the charts of his performance on the so-called truth exam. They indicate he lied when he answered no to question 12. Do you know who took Stephanie's life?
Maybe there's something we need to understand about Michael and about your sister that we didn't understand. Maybe somebody could have helped. It's okay. It's okay to feel the way you feel. I don't know. I don't know why I say that. I swear I don't know.
But the police think they know. Their theory on this second day of the investigation is that a very smart, very lonely, and very angry Michael Crowe stabbed his sister to death. Is that the motive? A rage-fueled case of sibling rivalry.
I'm looking at you right now, okay? And inside you're about ready to burst. We can't bring her back. She's gone. Okay? You're fighting it. You're don't do anymore. I understand. You haven't been told that one. I'm not saying.
I don't know, Laura.
Have you heard me say that? What if they come back and say to you, Michael, we have your hair?
While the search for truth is at the heart of the interrogation process, the police are not required to tell the truth.
They can use false polygraph lie detector test results to say your polygraph showed you were guilty when that was not the case. And this is all considered legitimate interrogation tactics.
As far as I'm concerned, there are no rules with homicide. No rules. You have to stay within the law. You have to be aware that people have rights, but there are no rules. And yes, we can use deception.
I think many of the American public would be surprised and shocked by this. They're allowed to lie to their suspect. Courts have allowed them to lie.
They say, Michael, we have your hair in her hand. And all of a sudden, you go, now what? I mean, what are you going to do at that point?
At that point, I would do a complete sweat out and not knowing it. I don't know.
Hypothetically. Could that have happened?
No, I know of.
How did you know of?
Like I said, I would have to be completely unaware of it.
Okay. Have you ever blacked out before?
No, never. If I knew who did it, if you would know, everyone would know right now.
Okay, what?
Because whoever did it, if I ever find out, I'll hate them forever. I love her. I love her deeply.
Soon after, Michael Crowe once again is left alone.
The next thing is to convince the person that their situation is hopeless.
They can say that there was evidence found at the scene of the crime, blood, semen, whatever, that points to the suspect.
Now, Ralph Clater, the lead detective on this homicide
What?
case, an investigator with 23 years of experience,
Comes outside.
returns with his tough, less patient style and more false evidence.
We found blood in your room already. God.
You're talking to a 14-year-old kid. Wasn't it possible that the blood did turn up in the room? What is that telling the kid? I better confess to this.
I'm sure you know.
What? God, I don't know. I just do it. I swear to that.
Does that mean you can't?
Oh, okay.
What are you talking about?
Okay.
What are you talking
You're
about?
14?
Yes.
You got your whole life ahead of you, don't you?
Yeah.
At that point, he's being, accused of the unthinkable. He's being accused of murdering his own sister. And he's insisting, look, I didn't do it. But they wouldn't take no for an answer.
God. Oh, God. God. Why?
You tell me.
Why are you doing this to me? If I did this, I don't remember it. I don't remember that.
And you know what? That's possible.
When we return, can the police make Michael remember what really happened? Like many boys his age, 14-year-old Michael Crowe spent much of his free time playing video games.
Oh,
Very
good
often,
old
perhaps
days.
Too often, he was alone in his room, absorbed by the violent imagery. On Friday, January 23, 1998, Michael Crowe once again enters the all-too-real world of a murder investigation where he is seen as the demon. With advice from a psychologist, detectives Ralph Clater and Mark Risley confront their teenage suspect with the theory that there may be two Michaels, and now they need the good Michael to help them expose the bad one.
You're a child. You're 14 years old. Nobody's going to hold you to the same standards that they would some criminal on the street. Okay? You're going to need some help through this.
One way to get this help, detectives suggest, is for Michael to write a letter to his dead sister asking for her forgiveness.
Outstanding tool. I never used the letter, but I have used other emotional tools.
Tools like this one that tend to ease a suspect's burden of guilt. Left alone in the interrogation room for the next 24 minutes, here is some of what Michael Crowe writes to the sister the police believe he killed. Dear Stephanie, they are putting me through hell, and I think that's what I deserve. If I did do this, then I am insane. The only way I know I did is because they told me I did. I want you to know that I was not myself when I did this. When detectives Clater and Risley return, they focus on the words in Michael's letter that, for the very first time, speak of his guilt. They push him for details of the killing, asking him which parts of his sister's body he might have stabbed in order to kill her.
Wow. This is some bullshit, Brett.
But making Michael remember is exactly what investigators are here to do. They tell him he faces two paths. If he doesn't talk and the case against him is made without his help, he'll go to jail. But if he does provide details, he can expect help in return.
And you have my personal guarantee that the help you need to accept this is going to be forthcoming. That is what the system is geared for.
I want to go down the path.
No, cut it out, Mike. Cut it out. The reason I'm sounding impatient, Mike, is the 11th hour is rapidly approaching. All this evidence is going to be in. You put a rush on some things that, quite frankly, is going to bury you, my friend. And you need to head that off at the pass. You need to take the step over here first before you're hit with this avalanche.
But at this point, the police do not have any such avalanche of evidence. They're bluffing Michael, and he falls for it.
I have this overwhelming feeling that I killed her, but...
Okay, let's hear. Let me hear about it.
I don't know why I feel that way.
Let me hear about it.
The pressure to get him to talk is working, yet he insists that the only details he can give them are ones he'll have to make up.
I'll lie. I'll have to make it up. What's the story? That night...
Yo, McDouchebag, really? Mm-mm. No, out of the hood, Toyota. Pull back to the hood, Lambo.
The autopsy report has already shown that Stephanie Crowe was stabbed 8 times.
You tell me what the truth is. The reason I'm trying to lie here is because you presented me with 2,000. Don't be afraid of it. I'd rather die than go to jail.
Okay, where'd you get the knife? What did you do with the knife afterwards?
I don't know what I do with the knife.
Give me some of these details. Not sure how lying.
The questioning is now in its 4th hour, but what happens in the next few minutes will prove to be more critical than anything Michael has said so far. The teenager accepts the detective's offer to end the day's session and be taken back to the children's shelter, where he's been staying since his sister's murder 2 days before. While the camera continues to record the empty room, Michael exits with the detectives, who continue talking with him elsewhere in the station house. They tell Michael he is under arrest for killing his sister. According to police, Michael responds flatly, "I thought so. I really didn't like her anyway." But he and his father insist there's a whole other side to the story.
They took him off camera. He wanted to see us, and what they told him was that your parents, know that you murdered their daughter, and they don't want to have nothing to do with you no more. They hate you. We're the only ones that you have now. And they brought him back on camera, and his demeanor changed.
He seems much calmer, almost relieved, and much more forthcoming.
Because now Michael's trying to please the only people he thinks he has left.
You made me feel ugly. You made me feel worthless.
For the first time, the 14-year-old reveals resentment toward his parents and the favoritism they showed the victim, his younger sister Stephanie.
She was a threat to me. Everything I did, she could match. That wasn't right.
Michael says he feels as if there are 3 people inside him, and one of them is evil.
What the
But through the
fuck?
final hour of questioning, he never does provide police with a single accurate detail of how he stabbed his sister to death.
I only know I did that because she said.
Yet Michael is charged with murder and taken off to a juvenile prison. At home, his parents receive a very unexpected call.
12:30 at night, we got a call from the police station, and it was Detective Sweeney saying that they made an arrest in the case. They arrested the murderer of our daughter. And I said, who was it? Who is it? They said, we've arrested your son.
He thought he'd done it. I mean, because at that point, because when a police officer tells you that someone did something, you think that they did it. I mean, we had trust in police up until this point.
The first thing I asked Michael when he got on the phone was, did you have anything to do with this? Did you murder Stephanie? And he said, I don't know, Dad. They keep telling me I did it, but I don't know.
When we return, police report they found the murder weapon and Michael's accomplices. A week after the murder of 12-year-old Stephanie Crowe, family and friends grieve at her funeral. Her brother Michael, however, cannot attend. He is locked away in juvenile hall, charged 3 days earlier with stabbing her to death. It's a crime, police tell his parents, that Michael confessed to.
Why would Michael murder his sister? I mean, they had never fought. There was never any, what the police called intense sibling rivalry. The night before, Michael had helped her with her homework. They were lying on the floor, sharing a pillow, watching TV together. It just didn't make sense to me.
And now the case takes an even stranger turn. 3 days after Michael Crowe is charged with killing his sister, detectives visit the home of his best friend, Joshua Treadway. They find a knife under the 15-year-old's bed, one that he stole from another friend. The police think it's the type of knife that could have been used to kill Stephanie Crowe. Convinced that he is involved in the murder, police bring Josh in for questioning.
The evidence is on screwing the wall. So what do I do with Josh? I charge Josh with the murder of 12-year-old Stephanie Ann Crowe. That's the only option I have. Why? Josh has the murder weapon.
Over the next 12 hours, until 8 the next morning, police interrogate Josh the same way they did Michael, alone, without a lawyer. Josh is
illegal!
in hand and does get a chance to comfort his son, but for the most part, he allows detectives to interrogate Josh in his absence.
They lied to him about evidence. They made express and implied promises of leniency. They didn't feed him. They didn't let him use the men's room very frequently. They deprived him of sleep. They did everything that you're really not supposed to do.
Josh is shaken. He knows Michael has already been arrested, and the cops are also talking to his friend Aaron Hauser, the original owner of the knife.
We've talked in depth with Michael. We've talked in depth with Aaron. Who's to say they're not blaming you for this whole thing? That's what I'm saying. Okay, it's not.
Despite this ordeal, Josh admits nothing and is free to leave the station house. 2 anxious weeks later, he is called back in for a second session with police. By now, he's a nervous wreck, especially when he is led to believe his friends have set him up as the fall guy. Only then does Josh spill out his story. He was only the lookout in this violent crime, he tells police. It was his friends who killed 12-year-old Stephanie.
I knew that Michael was supposed to go in there and sort of take care of keeping Stephanie quiet, and Aaron was supposed to go in and take care of the business. It was going to happen, and I was going to dispose of the knife and stuff. Michael came back a little while after that, and he was rinsing the knife in the sink.
Within a day, 15-year-olds Josh Treadway and Aaron Hauser are also arrested and charged with Stephanie's stabbing death. They join Michael in juvenile hall. Just as quickly, when all 3 teenagers are finally lawyered up, as police would put it, there's no great surprise when they deny their confessions.
People are always like, oh, I didn't do it, 90% of the people in state prison are claiming their innocence. And so, you get a little bit jaded in this business after a while, and so I started looking at the videotapes with my jaded eye, and all of a sudden I realized that I actually had the real thing. I had a false confession case on my hands.
People would like to believe that they would never confess to a crime they didn't commit, short of being tortured. Most people would like to believe they wouldn't even confess under torture.
People confess to things that they don't do when their own will is overborne by their interrogator. They make them feel so hopeless that the only thing they can do to save themselves is to confess, even if they didn't do it. And I just got that horrible pit in your stomach, feeling like, oh my God, these kids are innocent, they're living at life. What am I going to do?
One thing Mary Ellen Attridge did do was bring in Richard Afshe, a Pulitzer Prize-winning expert in false confessions.
My reaction was that they ripped out Michael Crowe's heart on camera. It was the most horrible interrogation I've ever watched because of what they did to that child.
A Superior Court judge agrees. In December 1998, after Michael and his teenage co-defendants had been locked up for 8 months, he throws out Michael's confession on the grounds that it was illegally obtained, psychologically coerced. But the judge does allow part of Josh's confession, the part with the most incriminating details. So the case will proceed to trial, with all 3 boys being tried for murder as adults on the strength of Josh's statement.
I thought, okay, fine. You want to do it the hard way? I'll do it the hard way. If you want to let in the last confession, I'll bring in all the other ones in. I'll show the jury where they came from. We will do this the long way.
1 month later, in January 1999, in the midst of jury selection for Josh's trial for murder, there's a dramatic break in the case. Hard work and a hunch pay off for lawyer Mary Ellen Attridge. A year earlier, on the same night Stephanie was murdered, neighbors of the Crowe family had complained to police about the intrusive behavior of a transient. Richard Raymond Tuitt, 28, was knocking on neighbors' doors looking for an old girlfriend. Tuitt was brought in for questioning. He had a history of mental illness and a conviction for car theft. He was briefly considered as a possible suspect. Police took his clothing and tested it, but they didn't find any blood evidence. Just as quickly, investigators dismissed Tuitt as too mentally unstable to have silently carried out a murder in a house filled with people. Police let him go free.
I'm still going with the detectives on this case, on their hunches, on what they did. However, where else do you get this Manson-like individual? When I look at that, I took 2 or 3 steps back.
Police had held on to Richard Tuitt's clothing as evidence. Now, a year later, his red turtleneck catches the eye of the defense team.
Our mouths were hanging open because the fact was that when you looked at the shirt, you realized there was something on the shirt. You couldn't tell what it was. I couldn't look at the shirt and say, oh, that's a blood stain. But I did see a lot of staining on the shirt.
Attridge demands this time that Tuitt's clothing be sent for DNA testing. After all, if these stains include blood, Stephanie Crowe's blood, then Richard Tuitt might once again be a suspect. After weeks of waiting, the news is almost too good to be true.
This was such a strong DNA result that you could rule out anybody who ever walked on the planet Earth as a donor of this blood, except Stephanie Crowe.
And Stephanie's blood on Tuitt's shirt seems set in a splatter pattern, one consistent with a violent stabbing. For Attridge, the results also prove that her defendants are innocent and that their confessions are false.
I cried. I called my husband. I opened a bottle of champagne. I was like, that's it for me.
But that wasn't it. Not yet. When we return, the police defend the confessions and demand to be heard. On February 25, 1999, prosecutors agree to dismiss the murder charges against Michael Crowe and his friends. This comes 5 weeks after DNA tests indicate that the blood of victim Stephanie Crowe was splattered on a shirt worn the night of her murder by an ex-con and former mental patient named Richard Tuitt.
Welcome to the Rick Roberts Show.
On the same day the case is dismissed, Detective Chris McDonough calls into this radio show to defend his role in the interrogation.
I know, Carrie asked
Wake
me.
up at 2 o'clock in the morning and sit down and say, you know what, today's the day I'm going to plant and frame Joshua Treadway for murder.
Well, I don't
That's
think that
ridiculous.
anybody, Detective McDonough, I don't think anybody is saying that this is born of hostility rather than stupidity.
If I may finish, secondarily, on top of that, videotape it at the same time. It's ridiculous. I am in a job to bring justice to that family, but I'm also in a job to bring justice to Mr. Tuitt if, in fact, he is not the perpetrator.
Despite the fact that Stephanie Crowe's blood was found on Richard Tuitt's shirt, a year later, he still has not been indicted for her murder. The investigation has been reassigned to the San Diego County Sheriff's Office and is still ongoing. And the reason you have not heard directly from the police or district attorney in this story is because they have refused to comment on this case since the families of the teenage defendants filed a federal lawsuit against them. The suit seeks compensation for the harm done to their sons by illegal interrogations and the resulting false confessions. But it is important to remember that the overwhelming majority of confessions police obtain every day in this country are fairly sought and freely given. Voluntary statements made by guilty people confessing to crimes they did commit.
I hope false confessions are a very rare phenomenon. I hope that we would be talking about something that is one small fraction of 1% of the number of people who are convicted in this country in any given year. And even if it's that small, it's still a lot of people.
I've had people confess.
Well, I'm gonna make cheese pepperoni.
We put a guy in for 9 months who didn't
Okay.
do the murder. He felt that he
I said okay.
stating that he
I
was
said
there
okay.
and didn't do it was going to be treated less harshly than if he did it.
In Michael Crowe's case, his entire interrogation was recorded on videotape, so a judge was able to see for himself how the teenager's confession of murder was illegally obtained. What if all police interrogations were videotaped?
I think there's only one reason why police resist recording. They want to preserve the right to break the law when they feel they need to do it. I don't see any other reason not to tape record.
No one believes detectives. No one believes police officers. I have been accused many times of beating confessions out of people. Take a look at the video. I have been accused of coercing people many times. Take a look at the video.
Yet only 2 states, Alaska and Minnesota, legally require the videotaping of all interrogations, taping that often pays off in unexpected ways.
We had one case where a man was accused of murder, and he claimed to be blind in the interrogation room. So the police were asking him questions the entire time he maintained he was blind. And then the police went out of the room to get some coffee, and he picked up the paper and started reading it. The jury can see that. And so it really gives us an opportunity to deflect any accusations about police coercion or about a violation of constitutional rights. And it's done there right on tape.
Stephanie Crowe's parents remain convinced that Richard Tuitt killed their daughter. In February 1998, just 3 weeks after Stephanie Crowe's murder, Tuitt was convicted on a misdemeanor charge of child annoyance for following and lewdly soliciting 2 girls about the same age as Stephanie. A month later, he was also convicted for breaking into a trailer home and sentenced to 3 years in prison. Since then, he has been released on parole 3 times, violated parole 3 times, and sent back to prison. The latest incident occurred in November 2000 when Tuitt removed the electronic monitor from his ankle and skipped out, undetected, from a halfway house in San Bernardino. Days later, he was apprehended 70 miles away, back in Escondido, just a mile from the Crowe family's new home. In December, Tuitt was sent back to prison. and Stephanie Crowe's parents were back on Rick Roberts' show to vent their anger about Richard Tuitt.
If I ever see him walking the streets, God forbid, I'll make sure justice is served.
For the average person, I mean, how do you get a prosecutor to prosecute the man who murdered your daughter? What is it going to take? I mean, her blood screams for justice, and no one's listening.
So, you want to talk about it? Yeah, Kurt. Kurt, girl. Give me 1 second. I got something. And no, you're not in trouble. I got something for you to take. If you get a moment, watch this. All right. I'm gonna put up a link right now. It's free. The fuck? Why are we on this one again? Hang on. Let me find the right one. That is free, not the fucking bought one. I'm going to find the one where it is not, where you don't have to pay for it. All right? You don't have to pay for this, but it is a legit fucking movie on what happened. Here, hang on. Here. It's a legit movie. Here you go. It's a legit movie. I'm even going to put it in the description here on this here. But it's a legit movie on the Michael Crowe case. They literally made a movie about it. All right. Ooh, excuse me. No, he hasn't. And then people wonder why I want to protect my son from this guy. But there you go. I have a link to it in the description as well. No, Hunter ain't been charged with nothing. But I put a legit link to the Michael Crowe case, to the movie, in my description, and it's right here as well. Yeah, I know. But now you see why. Listen, but every time somebody mentions the Michael Crowe case in any of his lives, they get banned and then sent a link to his book. I got banned and I got sent a link to his book. Like, are you fucking stupid? But I figured you'd want to see the movie, so I got you the movie. There's way more to this movie than you think. I mean, to this than y'all think. Like, there's a lot. And it just breaks my heart. That was only part one. I got part two down here somewhere. Part three, no. That's one. For some reason, I can't find part two. Let me try to find it. Give me a moment. part 1. I think we watched part 2 first. What's this one? This is part 2. All right, we're going to watch part 2. You guys want to watch part 2? I literally had something else wound up, but I don't give a shit. I'm outraged by the concern by somebody saying H is responsible for 3 wrongs. Allison is probably rolling in her grave. Listen, I agree. Damn it, why not? Because hold on, I'm trying to catch up. Damn it, why not? Because someone blocked me there for no reason. I was there for the begging of Susan McCaw. I never did any. It's because he doesn't want. It's because that's the way he is. But I got part 2. If you guys want to watch. I'm just saying, I got part 2. I can load it up. It's right here. See, I can play it. You guys want to watch it? I mean, they're short clips, and I don't mind. Just don't know if I'm going to be able to keep them in the video because I don't know if they're copyright or not. I'll find out in a little while, though. No fucks given. So I'm just gonna play it. Scare up. You watch.
Intimidate a suspect. When we showed Detective Lou Scarcella the interrogation tape, he was much more familiar with the strategy than he was with the machine.
I personally thought it was a ruse, using a tool to deceive the individual, which is beautiful as far as I'm concerned. I had no idea what this machine was.
Before giving the truth verification test, Detective McDonough actually works together with Michael to formulate the questions.
What are some things we want to learn here, do you think? If I know who did it, if I did it. Okay, well, let's do that then. Do you know who, let's say, took Stephanie's life? Yeah. Okay, would that be a good, fair question? Yes. Okay, do you know who took? Do you know how she died? No.
Soon the test questions are agreed upon, and McDonough asks Michael to sign a form declaring he's about to take the test voluntarily.
So you don't realize what's happening. You've now been sucked into a process, and that process is going to roll forward for as long as you let it roll forward.
So Michael's interrogation continues. All the while, his parents assume he's being looked after at a children's shelter, unaware he is in police custody.
They just kept grilling and grilling and grilling. And to think that we were at home, not even knowing he was near the police station. If we would have known, we would have been there.
Now, however, Michael seems almost relieved to be cooperating and submits readily to the voice stress analyzer.
Are you sitting down?
Yeah.
Do you know who
I think I played the whole thing last time.
Is today Thursday?
Pause.
Yes. Did you take Stephanie's life? No.
8 minutes later, the truth exam is complete.
Let me go over these charts, and I'll be back here in a couple minutes, okay?
When we come back, what will the voice stress exam reveal?
Yeah, we saw this. Hold on. Pause. We saw this. Hold on. Let me get to where I got to be. Well, let me go here. Oh, okay. So I played everything all at once. All right. So I played the whole thing all at once. That's my fault. My bad. Yeah, that's my fault. I played it all at once in one shot. But there is something interesting that was done about 11 years ago. So we are going to watch this 2-minute quick clip. My bad. I played it all at once. I wasn't even looking. But this is where Michael Crowe testifies against Richard Toot, or whatever the fuck, the crazy guy.
In court today from the brother of Stephanie Crowe, the Escondido girl killed 15 years ago in a crime that rocked the community. Michael Crowe was originally charged with that murder following a botched interrogation that sparked a TV movie. To date, he took the witness stand in the retrial of the transient accused of killing Stephanie. 10 News reporter Steve Fiorina is live downtown with the emotional testimony. Steve.
Steve, Michael Crowe was pretty confident as he sat on the witness stand today answering pointed questions from the defense. But he also had to fight back tears as he told of finding his sister's, not finding, but seeing his sister's bloody body. No comment. Michael Crowe refused comment for 10 News cameras about his testimony in the retrial of Richard Toot. Now 30 years old, he got emotional as he recalled the night in 1998 that his sister Stephanie was found stabbed to death in her bedroom.
I woke up. I think I heard my dad first. He was screaming for help.
We're not allowed to show his face while on the witness stand. Michael was 14 when his 12-year-old sister was killed.
My sister on the floor with my mom.
What did you do when you saw her?
Just remember being in the doorway.
What up, 420?
And not knowing what to do.
Michael and 2 friends were initially arrested for Stephanie's murder. Michael and another boy confessed. Those confessions were ruled to have been coerced and charges were dropped. This spawned a TV movie, The Confession of Michael Crowe, and a multi-million-dollar settlement for wrongful prosecution. A transient in the neighborhood that night had a spot of Stephanie's blood on his shirt and was later convicted
I'm
of
sorry,
manslaughter.
go back.
A transient in the neighborhood that night had a spot of TV movie, The Confession, coerced and charges were dropped. This spawned a TV movie, The Confession of Michael Crowe, and a multi-million-dollar settlement for wrongful prosecution. A transient in the neighborhood that...
So, not only did this man spend almost a year in jail for something he didn't do, for the antics and BS McDonough did, he also got a multi-million-dollar lawsuit and won it. For her death, that'd be this douchebag right here. Let me get that back up. That'd be this scumbag right here. The guy they said was legal. Yeah, he got. We're gonna find out here in a second.
That night had a spot of Stephanie's blood on his shirt and was later convicted of manslaughter. That was overturned on appeal, and now Richard Tewitt is being retried. Tewitt's attorney is refocusing attention on Michael and his classmates. A probation officer at Juvenile Hall was called to tell about a visitation between Michael and his dad while the boy was in custody.
I don't know his mouth. He wouldn't told his father something, and his father slapped him in the face.
The defense claimed that Michael had told his dad, "I'm sorry." Michael denied it. He denied being slapped. Now, tomorrow we will hear from Josh Treadway, one of the other boys initially charged in the case. The theory at that time that Michael was jealous of his sister. Live downtown, Steve Fiorina, 10 News.
So, that man's, Richard Tewitt, yep, this guy, is currently convicted for manslaughter for Stephanie. Just so you know. But this is the case. That is the case that McDumbnuts doesn't want anybody talking about. So I want to know why. I'm going to actually Google that shit. Let's Google Michael Numbnuts. Michael Crowe. Michael Numbnuts, yeah, because I'm a fucking smart guy. Michael Crowe. Let's see. I'm gonna look at Wikipedia real quick. Yeah, we know all that information. And legal proceedings. Yes, we know about the legal proceedings. $7.25 million in 2011. So, damn, son. To the families of the 3 boys, the Crowes reached the settlement of $7.25 million. Okay. I want to know now. Oh, no. So apparently nobody is locked up for it at this moment. Damn. But yeah, the jury overturned the verdict on Richard in 2013. And by the looks of it, there ain't been shit said since. I'm looking at Wikipedia though, so. I'm still reading. That's a lot to read, but I'm not reading it out loud. That's a lot to read. I will drop the Wikipedia page on my about as well. On my description, if you guys want to go give it a read. Sorry, it's a lot to read. I know, but in 2013, the jury said there was no significant evidence. There's a lot there. You might, you're going to have to go read the Wikipedia page that I just put up there on my description page. There's a lot to go through and unpack. Hold up, pause, hold on. Didn't the two friends say Michael had tried to get the two friends to help him unalive his sister, or we skipped that part? No, we didn't skip that part. What they did was the jury and judge found that Michael and his two friends' interrogations and paperwork were coerced, and they threw them all out. Threw all of it out. It cost the city a pretty penny, but the Crowe family walked away with $7.25 million. Sometimes that happens, Bob. Okay, can I ask about the girl in upstate NY? Something about a yard? Huh? What do you mean, Shay? Speak to me. What do you mean a yard? Speak to me, Shay. You can ask. Many prayers, Pam. There is a very good chance that the boy actually did it. I'm very aware of this case. Well, like I said, there's a chance, but from my understanding, at this point in the game, at this many years later, it don't really matter at this point. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. I don't know. I ain't got no new updates since 11 years ago. So I don't know. I could keep digging deep, but all I get from this is that McDonough did some dirty antics that not even the judge applied for. That not even the judge was happy about. And I say he cost the city. As far as I could tell, he cost the city a significant amount of money due to his antics. But yeah, Shay, what are you talking about up here? A girl upstate NY and a yard. What do you mean? You got me messed up on that one. And I asked about a girl in upstate New York, something about a yard. If you can find me more intel than just that, Shay, I will give you the answers if I can. You have to remember, I'm in the middle of the state. It does matter who killed her. You are right. But I'm saying at this point, it was already proven. It was already proven the three boys didn't do it. McDumbnuts? Yeah, I'm blocked. Yeah, I'm blocked over there. 110% blocked. All three of my accounts. This account, my other two accounts, all blocked. Listen, one of my other accounts is just a gaming account that I ain't used because I forgot it existed. But yeah, I don't know about a girl and something about a yard. I mean, if you could direct me to more information on that, I could probably let you know. But until then, I can't tell you anything. That is why he had to retire, and that's why he had to retire. I'm trying to find that in the Wikipedia section here. Let's see. Let's see what Andrew can find over here. Yeah, he cost a lot. Wow. Yeah, if you just type in a detect Chris McDonough and Michael Crowe, bro, it keeps saying it costs them a lot. It cost that city a lot of fucking money, bro. Like bad. Sorry. Because I used a clip of his channel. I'm not sure. I never spoke to him again. Hello. Oh no, I was just curious. Where that's from? Who are you blocked from? Hey, short legs. I'm blocked from McDumbnuts. But no, if you use the clip from his channel, I can fucking still see it. I can still see it through your channel. It is a rabbit hole. I see that. It's a big rabbit hole. Yeah. The violation list of improper investigation techniques he used is 2 pages long at least. At least, yes. All I asked was, can we talk about Michael Crowe sometime? I was nice about. Yeah, you're fine all day. That's what we've been doing. In an investigation, there are no rules. LE can lie. Yeah, I know that. Jake, I know that. But you see, they actually. But given the fact there is a minor, then the minors didn't have lawyers or parents hanging around right there with them. That's a violation of that's breaking the law in itself. So I mean, at the end of it, it is what it ain't. And honestly, right now, I mean, I'm not even sure who the fuck did what where. But from my understanding, I don't think the case is solved. I don't think the case is solved at all. I'm looking. But yeah, McDonough and a few others broke the law pretty good. Like, good. But, let's see. It's still unsolved. The case is still unsolved to this day. Yep. From what I am reading here, and with a quick Google search, it's unsolved. Sorry, cursed. I just didn't like things being used out of context. No, that's fine. Thank you. I appreciate for helping. I'm just listen. I'm not either. But no, thank you for helping out. I appreciate that. That really does mean a lot because I'm just starting to dig into this. Into the Michael Crowe case. Well, Stephanie Crowe case anyway. I'm just starting to dig into it, and it's a lot. Nothing wrong with that, Jake, and I thank you. But like I said, I'm just getting into this, and it's a lot. It's a very lot. I mean, I'm gonna have to actually sit down and watch that movie, and I'm gonna have to sit down and actually dig. And it's a lot. But as far as I can tell at this moment, July 5th, 2025, it's still unsolved. And this was done when I was like 10. Yeah, I was 10. So, I could swear I saw the brother's friend was serving time for it. No. From what I am reading right now, it is unsolved. Wrongfully accused of murder. Show me my digitization. Where is me button? Pause. Let me find my button. So I'm sorry. I figured you had already looked into it since you've been going over this case. No, I looked into the video. From Court TV, I looked into it, and then I did some research. Not a lot. I didn't do a lot of homework. I did just, a minute scan of it. A minute scan of it, real quick, once over. Didn't skip half of it. Did a summary of it. Read the summary of it, basically. And I went off with what I read there. But now I'm digging in, and there's a lot. Bam. But these three gentlemen were acquitted. There's a lot to go over here. But yes, these three gentlemen were acquitted of all charges. And it's a lot. Like, there's a lot. But yeah, these three were definitely not. Yeah, it's a lot. But I don't mind it being a lot. It gives me something to do. But no, the three were wrongfully accused. So they were basically like, see you bye. Like, you're done, son. But I will be looking more into this deeply. Because like I said, there's a lot. And McDonough's wants to. Jake, he had only touched on it a couple of times. Yeah, but it's fine. But no, like I said, McNumbnuts. You got some explaining to do, bud. I mean, I heard your side through what you told the cameras. I heard your side from what you told the cameras. I heard what you said to the cameras. Okay? I heard what you said on phone calls. But I want to know what was going through your mind when you decided to violate that child's rights. Not just that child's rights, but 3 underage children. What was going through your mind when you decided to violate their rights in 98 and 99? What went through your head? Yes, I get that, but he was acquitted of all charges 2010, 2011. And I don't understand any of it. So, I mean, we'll go through and see what's up, but it's still unsolved to this day. Well, a few weeks. Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine. Jake, you're good. No need to apologize. It's all good. You're good. You're good. You're good. Don't worry about it. It happens. But no, so from my understanding, McDonough used a machine that wasn't exactly up to snuff quite yet. He violated these 3 children's rights, and he coerced confessions out of 3 children, which cost that city quite a bit of money. So again, why should my son agree to talk to you? It ain't about what you could pay, Bob. It's about how truthful you are. Because you already cost one city a significant amount of money. Most creators go over the case prior to doing the lives. I do it all in one shot. I do things differently here, Jake. I'll go over it. I'll go over what I have found to a point, and then I'll bring it to everybody, and then get their input and find out where I could get if somebody knows about the case, they can lead me to another direction, lead me to the direction to get more info as I go. I like to include my audience in my research findings, not just do all the homework myself. I'd like to make it a group project, so to speak. That's all. Yeah, he's good. No worries. So that's how I do it. I'll go through, find what I can, go look through it with you guys, what I have personally found. And then if somebody has input to, give me another breadcrumb to go look into it more, look somewhere in a direction to get more information, I'll do that. I like to get my audience involved with what I'm doing. That's what I've been trying to do. I got you. You good. You help me out. You help me look into things. That's good, and I appreciate that. See, I like to interact with my people. Y'all are good. We are allowed to have different opinions. We don't flip out if we don't fit our narrative like other channels, right? But no, like I said, from my understanding from the videos I just showed, which of course is linked down in the description, and also, the movie to the Stephanie Crowe case is linked in the description. The Wikipedia page as well is linked in the description. I've been blocked from better and worse places. No, get off my back. Well, listen, I know there's better and I know there's worse than me. I mean, I'm a loudmouth asshole. I'll tell you that straight to your face. I give no fucks. Yes, and it is awesome. Thank you for helping a brother out. I appreciate that. And I mean, like I said, if somebody wants to go out there and do an extra bit of homie home, that's fine. I'd like to ask one question. Do you have an email? Yes, I do. Give me 3.5 seconds to type it in chat. All lowercase. What does my block list say? Ma'am? What does my block list say? My block list says my block list says if you can't fit my block list only puts people in there that I know are trolls or come in to do harm. Usually we don't give a shit, but if I see or know that you're talking ish elsewhere for no apparent reason when we're not even talking about nobody or not even on the same subject of whatever they're on, I mean, that hurts my feelings. I've dumped my block list 13, 11 times already. I don't care for it. I could care less about the block list. But some people come in here and are completely rude for no reason. So yes, they get blocked if they're rude. We are on a completely different case, completely different everything. And some people are just rude. And you don't need to go into somebody's chat acting high and mighty and caring. Yeah, I saw that. If they're not, if they're not, I could do it to a point, but I have to be easy on what I show because if it's because I could get a copyright strike if I play the video while being monetized or while not being monetized. If I play that video, I could get in trouble for that. So I don't know if I can or can't right now. Right now, I'm just happy I'm getting away with playing court TV, and at least for the moment. I will find out whether or not by tomorrow whether or not they're copyright, and if they're not copyright, I'll play some of the video some of the Michael Crowe movie slowly. I'll play bits and pieces here and there just to test it out to make sure I don't get in trouble with YouTube for playing it. So I might have to play like 30 minutes here and then 30 minutes there. It would have to be broken up. And I don't like doing that because you basically, lose all major points with it breaking up of shit. And it sucks. Just so you know. Hey, what up, Dip Dip? So I myself am trying to put the feelers out there, Okay, the real one does. Yep. Like I said, I'm just trying to put my feelers, test them waters a little bit, make sure I don't get in trouble by YouTube for playing this shit. That's all. I mean, listen, we all got to make a buck, and my buck is basically the ads. I don't care for much of anything else. I mean, I'm up here. We're having a good conversation. My ads are playing whenever. It's all good. Hi, Dip Dip. But yeah, Kirst, I put my emails at the bottom, honey. But yeah, I mean, it's nothing bad. It's just you gotta test waters a little bit. And I know I look like the guy from the complete wrong side of the damn tracks going over this case. I know. Right, Forrest White? But it is what it ain't. I mean, realize I'm here for fun and info for a laugh. Nothing wrong with that, man. I can't touch, mommy. Yeah, we have a lot of jokes and stuff here. We have good fun. But no, like I said, I like to do different things. We started off with people talking shit, and then I jumped over to the Stephanie Crowe case. I jump around a lot because that's how my brain works. It's jumbled and jambled and bumbled. Information on a case, fresh ideas, bringing awareness to the facts of the case is what I look for. Exactly. See, I went and I found I was directed to the Stephanie Crowe case, not Michael Crowe case, Stephanie Crowe case. Initially, I was directed to that point, and I went, took a quick peek. How you doing? I went, took a quick peek, and I enjoyed looking. I found some interviews from Court TV. I found the movie. I didn't really watch the movie yet. It's been busy. I've been busy doing other things. But the information is crazy. And as for McNumbnuts, I mean, dude stepped out of line in a lot of ways. He violated a lot of rights. From my understanding, there was no Miranda rights read. There was no lawyers. There was no... Would you feel differently if it turns out Michael did unalive his sister? I It'd piss me off. It'd be an unexpected twist, but it'd piss me off. It really would. I mean, it would. After the bullshit McDonough did, and then the lawsuit of the winning of the lawsuit of $7.25 million, and then testifying against the guy who got acquitted. I mean, that's a lot of, and then getting his friends in trouble on top of it. That's a lot of shit right there, man. I mean, it pissed me off. That would mean the kid got rich for unaliving his own sister by fluke and lived a wonderful life while she died. Exactly. And he also got his homies in trouble too. I mean, dude, that's a lot. But I'm saying if it comes out to whenever the case is actually up to snuff and able to be solved, if it comes out to that, boy, oh boy, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, bro, that is some fucked up foul shit. Like it would basically be, no, you can't have your chalky milk. Give me 1 minute. I gotta get the wife for chalky milk. No chalky milk for you. You don't touch my pee-pee. Sorry, y'all. I had to use the restroom as well. My apologies. I personally would change my view on it for him because of the way he went about it. The court documents spell it out, and the way Chris treats anyone who asks about it is gross. Correct. But like I was saying, I mean, if it comes down to where it actually falls out to where the brother actually did do it, I only would have one question about it. What the hell was your motive? Peace. Your parents say y'all got along. You say y'all got along. What would be the motive? All the evidence that was useful was thrown out. Yes, you are right. It was. Everything was thrown out. I mean, do they even still have the shirt? I don't even know personally if they still have the shirt with dude's blood on it. I mean, with the blood on it. It's 2025. Rerun it. You know what I mean? I mean, there's the hairs they found around her ring. Do they still have those? If so, run a DNA test on them. You know what I mean? Like, it's simple things that nobody thought of, that I don't think they thought of doing. So that's why I'm like, run it. Run the DNA that was found on the shirt. Run the DNA, the hair strands. I have met 15-year-olds that are really rough men. It happens. Yes, it does. I agree. But like I was saying, I mean, you got DNA on a shirt. You got hair wrapped around in the sister's ring. It's 2025. run that shit through the database. The blood found in his room, I do believe, was thrown out. Yeah? What was that? Okay. But I'm going to let you guys go. I have to go out. I have to go deal with something. Yes, I just recently found out about this case. I have to go run out real quick. I have to go deal with something out front. So I will be back for part 2. Probably not tonight, but probably tomorrow. Tomorrow's Happy Sunday. Saturday. Sunday? What the fuck is today? Tomorrow's Happy Sunday. So we will talk about that then. But much love. I'll see you guys in the next. Thank you for being here. Jake, don't stop being a good dude. Thank you for your help. I appreciate you. Much love, my friend. Thank you so much. Much love. We will go back onto this case probably Monday. So look out for Michael Crowe in the name on Monday. We'll go more in depth. I have a movie to watch tomorrow, and tomorrow is Happy Sundays. So thank you again, Jake. Thank you all for your help. Much love.